You gotta fall in love with the process and stop worrying about the end result. See, when you fall in love with the process, the end result is guaranteed. You know what I'm saying? When you dedicate yourself to that hard work, when you dedicate yourself to them long hours, when you dedicate yourself to that discipline, yeah, the results gonna be amazing. And see, you on the right path, but you got to lock in, man. You got to lock in, have that discipline. It ain't gonna happen overnight, but just fall in love with that process. You know, I know that times do get hard, and I know that, you've been trying to get to where you're trying to go for a long time, but keep on going, man. Keep on going. Don't give up. Keep on striving to be the best you and to get to where you're trying to go. One day, it's gonna happen. And it's worth it, man. It's worth it. You ain't been working this hard to give up now. Even though you don't see the results yet. You ain't been working this hard just to quit. You haven't. And keep that in mind as you keep going on your journey. That if you fall in love with that process, fall in love with the process, that it's gonna pay off. That's guaranteed. Trust and believe it. So today, man, I've been doing a lot of driving, a lot of riding today, having to do a lot of different things. Mother's Day is tomorrow. So, I've been busy. Been going to this store, that store, been having to go here. Had to take my son, to his Cub Scout thing today. They flying rockets and stuff like that. But anyway, man, I had on the ride, because it took me a minute to find it, man. The GPS tripping today, stuff like that. I was able to listen to Stephen A. On the interview or whatever like that, and he was on the interview with Tony Allen and Zebo. Zach Randolph, for those that don't know Zebo. And he was talking about how you gotta fall in love with the process. Too many people want the end result and don't want to put the work in. I said, ooh, that hit home, cause it do be like that. I remember when I first started doing YouTube, I wasn't doing the content that I'm doing now. You know what I'm saying? But I was very impatient. You know what I'm saying? Thinking that you can, and I didn't put the work in. Not put the work in, but I didn't do my research. I didn't learn. I didn't, see what I needed to do within the lane that I was in. Very impatient. And I wanted it to happen overnight. Because how I see it was I could make videos and then eventually start making money. The simple mind I had, bro, that was damn near 10 years ago, right? So now I'm to the point where I understand. And like I say, I'm not doing the same content. I did start to get a little motion with the content, but the conviction in me, you know what I'm saying? Because I always want to share and be positive and help other people. It just, that lane wasn't for me, and that's cool. But then I struggle because I was used to being in that lane, that light, and so I'm like, what I supposed to be doing the whole time? I know what I supposed to be doing, just not wanting to do it. And so with me trying, stuff don't start off the way you want it, and I had been inconsistent with YouTube for years, man. I had a period of time where I was doing it and then I stopped. You know what I'm saying? And then I was on it, then I wasn't. And then I look back, I say, man, you was doing good. But in the moment, you don't see that. And it took time. Like, in the moment, like, the views and stuff wasn't doing nothing. But then over time, it start getting up there. And then I look back, I'm like, why did I quit? Impatient, not humble. You know what I'm saying? Not falling in love with the process, but wanting the outcome. All this stuff. And I ain't afraid to admit it because we not perfect. Somebody may learn from my story and look at their life and say, I don't want to do that. I'm going to do it this way, the right way. And that's cool with me. That's the whole point of me making these videos. But yeah, man, I was sitting there, you know what I'm saying, listening to that, and I was like, man, that really hit home, man. You got to fall in love with the process and stop looking for the outcome. You know what I'm saying? And to my surprise, I didn't even know, which he been doing, the journalism stuff. Everybody know him on First Take and all that there for longer than I've been alive. You see what I'm saying? And he was talking about how he just last year signed a deal that changed his life. Like he was talking about the different struggles, getting paid less a lot of the times in the beginning. You know what I'm saying? Having to answer to certain people, having to do certain things because he was doing what he loved and he knew that was for him. You get what I'm saying? And I feel like anybody that's trying to grow, we always see, you know, the end result on people's journey. That's why we tune in to podcasts. We like reading books and listen to such and such preach, whatever it is that you into, but never focus in on the process. Some people don't show their process. Some people want you to believe that they just made it overnight. Cool. You know what I'm saying? Everybody ain't the same. Everybody different. But what I'm saying is that you gotta fall in love with the process. And I'm so into it. Like I love hearing testimonies. I love hearing somebody talk about their journey because it helps me, stay grounded. Y'all don't realize the comments that I be getting on here, on TikTok, on Instagram, on Facebook, stuff like that really keep me going because it be times where, I want to give up. I'm not going to give up being who I am because these videos that I make, I do this in real life. You know what I'm saying? So I can never stop, giving God glory. I can never stop, sharing my testimony or just encouraging anybody. I can never stop that because that's just who I am. That has become a part of me. And really, I've been this way all my life. But, when it comes to making this content, it can really get very discouraging. But I'm not going to let a bad day, I'm not going to let how I feel some days stop me from making it because, like I say, you just never know who you touch. And the things that I've heard, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's mind-blowing. You never know what nobody going through, and that really keeps me going. But had I not matured, had I not grew up, had I not had that understanding, there's no telling where I'd be. So, my son, my boy, as one of my daughter with my wife right now, they, at the salon. But anyway, man, had I not, even with my kids, man, just having patience and growing, I'm able to give them a father that I never had. You know what I'm saying? Tomorrow, Mother's Day, my wife got a testimony. And, if she wouldn't be who she is, it wouldn't have grown, wouldn't be seeking God, wouldn't still be seeking to grow, she wouldn't be the mother that she is. And I'm so thankful and grateful for that too. But that's why I'm saying the process, when we talk about working on yourself, besides the wanting to get money, the success and all of that, when you talk about wanting to become a better person, man, that process hurt. There's gonna be some things that gonna go on that gonna blow your mind, but also have you messed up. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of the times, it took me a minute. It really took me a minute. I'm not perfect. I still make mistakes. And that's one thing people be getting twisted. People think that just because, you in this walk with God, that it ain't no process. It's a process with this too. Because now you leaving the former things and you getting into the things of God. You allowing the Holy Spirit to lead you. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes it's not easy, but it gets easier and it gets better over time. I'm not who I was 10 years ago. You know what I'm saying? But I'm still working. I'm still growing. It's a process. But I can't say without God, I don't know where I would be. You know what I'm saying? So don't get discouraged, man, on your journey. No matter what it is. You might play sports. You know what I'm saying? You might play sports. You might cook. You might own a restaurant. You may be thinking about doing it. You know what I'm saying? You might be a coach. You might be a teacher or whatever. Understand that you are appreciated and that in due time, whatever you seeking is going to happen. But you got to fall in love with the process. You know what I'm saying? For real, man. For real. Man, it's like I'm going to say this one more story real quick. So my basketball coach in high school, you know what I'm saying? Very well known from Louisiana. We've been one of the top high school teams in high school basketball in the world for years. And he's an amazing coach, but it's deeper than basketball with him. It's about life. And so he has gotten the Naismith Award. A lot of people don't know what that is, but that's being the top coach in high school. And that's 11 years, man. He did that 11 times. You know what I'm saying? He did it back when Michael Jordan and Larry Bird and all them play. He's seen all them guys. And the reason why I'm bringing it up is because when you just follow your dreams, when you walk in your purpose, all type of doors are open up for you. He was supposed to have been a college coach, but he stayed true to what his vision was that God gave him, his purpose in life. And that's to help the young kids in his way. His way ain't gonna be like my way. His way ain't gonna be like your way. But he stayed true to who he is and what he stands for. And I mean, God has blessed him tremendously. Yes, he's older now, but he take care of himself. God taking care of him. And it's crazy because They won a championship this year, and his wife died 2 weeks later. You see what I'm saying? But yet and still, he's still going. And I know that's a rough time for him. He got 2 kids, you know what I'm saying, stuff like that. Older guy, I think he is almost 70, if he's not 70 already. And it's just, you know, that life happens. But man, you know, just saying, like, he fell in love with the process and he never lost sight of the goal. And God is blessing him tremendously, you know what I'm saying? So I just say that to say this, man, fall in love with the process. The outcome gonna follow that, but you gotta fall in love with it, man. Putting that time in, putting that work in because you love it, and that's what you built and meant to do. So, you know, I made this video because I know some of us struggle with that, but it's gonna be okay, man. You got this. And, you know, just keep trusting in God, man. Let's go.